Cublings, welcome back. I am back with more Reddit reactions. Mumsy, thank you for sending me a DM on your retail stories, but I will ask in the future, and this goes to anyone who wants to post any Reddit reaction stories. Please post on my page and not in DMs. I would appreciate that. But yeah, Mumsy, thank you so much for your stories. I will be reading both stories plus an extra three stories. And while I'm reacting to some Reddit stories, you guys will see a little video playing somewhere on the screen where I am busy making a mini treat, which I bought from Market Kokoro, that that I made for Berry, our stream's mascot or our content creator mascot or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, and he was so rude. He didn't even give me a chance to take a photo of everything. He ate it up so quickly. So rude. So rude. I know, right? Can't believe him. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into these stories. Oh wow, these are long stories. Or does it look long because of how this is? I have two new stories from today. Okay, this was April 14th. One paints me in a rather interesting light, the other is just general practice in retail. I like to call the stories the Reynolds fiasco and the definition of a proxy sale. The first story is an older man came up to me asking if I could give him a hand going outside to look for his car. He said it was a Reynolds. I have two intriguing stories to thank you. Okay, yeah. Let's just dive into because you just repeated yourself twice there. I am so sorry. Okay. Let's dive into the first tale. An elderly gentleman approached me, looking a bit lost and asking for assistance in locating his parked car. He mentioned it was a silver Reynolds and offered what details he could remember about the registration. Eager to help, I set off on a quest. However, I quickly realized it wasn't going to be straightforward. The parking lot was filled with sea of silver cars, and I began to feel a touch bewildered. I had a rough idea of where he might have parked, but the search was proving to be a challenge. To make matters more complicated, I had never actually seen a Reynolds before. Oh no. As I retraced my steps back to the man after a few frustrating minutes, I noticed he had vanished. Just when I thought I'd lost him entirely, he reappeared, this time accompanied by one of my colleagues who had also spotted him. While I stood there trying to figure out what a Reynolds even looked like, mind you, I was spelling it Reno in my head. Oh no, Mumsy. I still hadn't located the car. On the verge of asking the gentleman for his keys to help narrow down the search by clicking the button and listening for the beep, my colleague suddenly exclaimed, "There's a beige Renault Clio over here." After all the searching, we finally figured out where the gentleman's car was parked. He was incredibly grateful, and I wasn't leaving his side until I had ensured he made it safely to his Clio. It was a chaotic but a rewarding experience, and I couldn't help but chuckle at how a simple request turned into a little adventure. It's not that bad, but like as somebody who's not a car person, I wouldn't know what a Renault looks like either. So let's just, search it up so everybody knows. For those who are, I don't know, uncultured in the car world, knows what a Renault Clio looks like. Okay, let's just go ahead and do that. So, guys, this is a Renault Clio. This is how it looks. Okay. And apparently it comes in all, and this is how a silver one looks. Okay. I think I've seen this car before. I recognize the bumper. I recognize like that black parts of the bumper. It's a nice car, I'm not gonna lie. Wonder why people say that. Like, where does that Actually, you know what? Yeah, we are going on a bit of a little bit of a wormhole, I think it is. But bit of a spiral. I'm not going to lie phrase origin. There's just like, because it bugs me that we say this all the time, like I don't know. The phrase not gonna lie or I'm not gonna lie originated sometime within the last 100 years. It was originally meant to imply honesty or vulnerability, which continues to be its main use to today. In recent years, the adoption of NGL, uh, digital communication platforms, has been significant. Yeah, let's go look at the free dictionary. Usually indicates one's honest opinion about something, especially when that opinion may be unpopular, unexpected, or unfavorable. Huh, okay. That is interesting, but it doesn't exactly give like the origin from it. Like, where did it come from? Where did it start? Oh, wait, yeah. I don't need an example usage. Origin, there we go. Originates, okay, not from the texting culture. The late 2000s, during the time before iPhones, people had to type messages on their phones using the number keypad. It took so long to type messages that people started making abbreviations for commonly used terms. It was one of the later generations of abbreviations inspired by street slang in cities like New York and LA. The first entry into Urban Dictionary was in 2009. However, it is believed that it was in widespread use and well before this entry. It is a popular abbreviation and meaning people use it in text communications. Okay, it looks like we're not going to find out where this phrase comes from, so let's just move on with the story. Okay. This was also sent on the 14th of April. As I reflect on that chaotic day, I can't help but share the story of the proxy sale that unfolded right after the incident with the Reynolds. It all started when I overheard a group of teenagers chatting. One of them admitted he didn't have his ID. Without skipping a beat, one of his friends chimed in, "No worries, I'll buy two, one for each of us." My heart raced at that moment because I knew this was a clear violation of the law. We can't sell to a group if one doesn't have proper identification. Okay? Feeling a rush of urgency, I dashed inside, eager to alert someone at the checkouts. I kept my eye on the teenager in question, strategically positioning myself behind the self checkouts, and there they were. Although they had split up, the one without the ID had no gravitated towards the younger kids in the group. Oh, has now gravitated towards the younger kids in the group. Got it. And children, not kids. Kids is a baby goat. It didn't take long for his frustration to surface when he realized he couldn't snag an energy drink. In a fit of annoyance, he even tried to convince an elderly gentleman nearby to make the purchase for him. The teenager's antics didn't stop there. After his failure, he stomped off, but not before our team stood firm. We turned down every teen in the group trying to buy energy drinks, insisting they could only opt for Plato's or non energy options. In the aftermath, I received a surprise, a thank you chocolate from the manager. Apparently, I was the only one around to handle this chaos, and he appreciated my vigilance. I thought your manager was a female, but anyway, just when I thought the situation couldn't get any stranger, the same teenager ventured outside, only to return with a different drink and the elderly man in tow. Money in hand, he attempted once more to buy for the teen, but we stood our ground. Once again, the teenager erupted in frustration and stomped off, leaving us to maintain our stance. It was an unforgettable day, one where rules were upheld even amidst the whirlwind of youthful rebellion. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. But now here, I can understand that with alcohol and cigarettes and stuff like that. But energy drinks? How does that work for like I mean, I'm confused. Like how does that work for energy drinks? What do you have to be a certain age? Red Bull I can understand, but like I mean, there's Liquizade, which is an energy drink. You got Energade, you got Powerade. What you have to be a certain age to drink that. I am so confused. Like I need more context. You did that? A few years ago, I used to work for a grocery store company out of state. So many wild moments came from this job. But one day I go into the store and it's slammed. The place looks like a tornado came through and knocked everything over on the shelves. No. As I'm passing, oh no, that's horrible. As I'm passing by the grocery basket rack, there's one basket flipped upside down on the floor next to it. I go over to pick it up, and underneath this pile of broken glass, a bunch of items had fallen off the shelf, and someone had literally just covered it up with a basket. I would have been so mad. I walk back to the back office and wake up my boss and I tell him, why are you sleeping on the job? I'm sorry, you get paid to why are you sleeping on the job? What? No. So tell him some absolute effing jackass broke something and didn't tell anyone and literally covered it up with the basket. He looks down somberly and says, I did that. Apparently, he bumped into the shelf and literally forgot he never cleaned it up. I'm sorry. What? No. If it's your boss, you need to report him to head office because, first of all, why is he sleeping on the job? And second of all, he made a mess. He works at the store. Why isn't he cleaning it up and filling out some sort of form about, an accident? Because it was an accident. Why did he try and cover it up? No. 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 This is. I would be so mad because the fact that he leaves all these other employees to clean it up after him, he could have actually asked for help. Hey, listen, guys, I had an accident. I accidentally bumped into the shelf. Some things fell off and broke. Can you just help me clean it up? Fine, by all means, because if there's a lot of broken glass, you are going to need help. But no, you don't sleep on the job and then accidentally forget that you. Oh, I am so mad. Wow, I've forgotten a lot of things, but leaving something like that is something that absolutely cannot be done. That's a major Okay, I'm glad this commenter pointed out. Safety hazard. Safety, safety, safety. Oh my word. Guys, drill this in your brains everywhere you go. Safety, safety, safety. Now there's being cautious and there's being overly cautious. But you always have to be aware of your surroundings. You always have to make sure, like, hey, even if you've got headphones in or if you're on your phone, you have to be aware of your surroundings. Don't be so into your phone and so into your music that you don't know what's going on around you. Don't be that naive, gullible fool, please. Oh my word. Oh, I would have been so mad. I would have been so mad. Okay, this one, it says it's a short, yeah, it's a short one. Oh wait, we didn't upvote. The other day, a customer was brought to me by one of my deaf co-workers. She indicated that the customer was looking for a mirror and asked me to help. My ASL isn't great, but I agreed and thanked her. The customer, just had a picture of a price tag on a mirror, both of which were definitely not from my store. So I pointed her towards the aisle that has mirrors and continued what I had already been doing. I assumed she knew what store she was in. A minute later, she comes back and we have this exchange. Customer, okay, maybe you can help me with this? Me, sure. I'm looking for this mirror, but I didn't see it over there. Holds up a photo of a price tag again. That's not my tag. Shows me a photo of the full mirror. Yes, it is. I took this picture right around the corner over there. That's not my mirror or packaging. That's from name redacted. She's she's now clearly very confused and starts to walk away while mumbling. I took this picture. Like, yeah, I can see your full body in the reflection, but I assure you that you did not take that picture here. There are 2 or 3 discount overstock type stores in our same shopping plaza, but this was a first for me. Okay. I would just rate that a 1 because I mean, I'm so You know what this week should be named? This week should be named Confusion. When customers confuse you, or you know, more context is needed. Yeah, that's it. More context is needed. That is the name for this week. More context is needed. Oh. Wow, this week we are lucky. We only got short stories. Oh my gosh, I am so happy. My first experience with a potential drug addict. Oh, that can be scary. For context, I work at a gas station called Hux. This is important later. I came into work today and there was this lady who said she was waiting for a ride. Hours pass and I'm doing my job like normal. And the whole time, this lady is sitting down talking on the phone. I got up to vacuum the rugs and she came up to me and asked me a question. I didn't quite hear her correctly and thought I heard her say the word parting. I asked her, did you say parting? She got mad at me and walked away. A while later, I was sweeping the floor. I walked past her and I heard her say these exact words. Those 3 tall boys smoking cigars with Joe Rogan are my sons. More time passes and she's still there. She comes up to the counter and asks for a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. I get them and ring them up like normal. She then shows me her ID and tells me to just leave it there and then proceeds to walk outside with the cigs and lighter without paying. I follow her trying to explain the situation and she thinks we're supposed to give her the cigarettes for free because she thinks she's at Thornton's. The gas station she claimed to work at, apparently they have some kind of free sex thing that I don't know anything about, but this lady is out of her mind. I got my coworker involved. She called the cops and I stayed at the register until she was arrested. Um, just what? I think they handled the situation very well, but also like you know what? This is the perfect opportunity for me to show you my sassy mugs. Okay, and the perfect emote or the perfect mug for this particular program or for this particular episode, I should say, is this one. Let me just find it first. This one is this mug. Okay, with the little thingies on the head. This one. This is the perfect mug for this episode. So if you guys want to watch this episode again and experience all the confusion all over again, purchase this mug. When you get it, just make yourself some tea or coffee, whatever you want, hot chocolates, cocoa, whatever, and just sit there and drink and watch this episode and you can be just as confused as what I am. Oh my word, this episode was so confusing, and I do hope you guys enjoyed the little video of, me making some mini treats for Berry the mascot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And then until next time, bye, my couplings.